Hey guys, this is Sam from Bee Bunch Family. I'm coming to you today to talk about the male perspective of Justine and I's infertility journey. So if you see me looking down from time to time, it's because I have some notes here. So I just need to make sure that I keep track of where I'm going with it, and just so I can make sure we're on track, okay? So here's what I have. So I wanted to talk about what it was like for myself in taking 3 years to conceive and the struggle. So around 2018, Justine and I, so in July of 2018, Justine and I just got married, and we were excited and ready to start a family. So we immediately just try to get to it, and we noticed that, you know, when you jump right in, you get this feeling of, you know, okay, things are gonna happen right away, you know, because that's what we've been trained to do, and like in terms of what we've seen on TV and things like that. So you never really pay attention to the statistic that it might take me a lot longer than anybody else. So what happened was, so Justine and I started in July 2018, August 2018, in order to start a family, and we noticed that, you know, about after a month or two, we kept getting negative tests. Now, normally in the beginning, you know, we figure, okay, it's not that bad, it's not easy, so it's okay. You know, we keep trying and keep going. So as the holidays got closer, we continued to get negative tests, and a struggle that I already started to feel within those first 6 months was if there was something up with me. Internally, I felt like I couldn't deliver for some reason, and I was wondering why. I've wanted to start a family for a long time, which is and for some reason we weren't getting any positive tests. So I'm like, okay. So a little after the holidays, I decided, okay, maybe that was just a fluke. Maybe it was just 6 months, you know, so maybe we can try and go back, you know. Getting through it will be kind of difficult, but let's see how we go through it. So beginning of 2019, you know, we keep going, we try it out, and, you know, each month we go, we're excited, we're gonna get a test, and then like, so it's like, okay, maybe this will be our month, you know, we can start a family, right, Peanut? Right? So this will be the month that we start, and then negative tests again and again, you know, and it got really difficult. You know, one of the things that I struggled with is knowing if I was truly like accepting of what was happening, or was I in just denial. And that was really hard for me to get through, and I really want to always start a family. So I couldn't put together why this wasn't happening. You know, like maybe am I doing something wrong? You know. So then, in order to, you know, each month, you know, when we took those tests, it was, especially from 2018 to 2019, and whenever we got a negative, it was hard. You know, it was even in the very beginning, because you try to support one another, and you hope that maybe the next month will be better, and, you know, or it will get what we want, and then the next month comes and it's not exactly where you want it to be. You know, we've had difficult times, you know, and then, you know, let's fast forward a little bit. We started going to December of 2019, and we started to notice, you know, things weren't happening still, and we thought, okay, you know what, maybe let's just focus on ourselves spiritually. Maybe let's work on our marriage. You know, maybe we need to support one another a little bit more in some other way, shape, or form. You know, so, you know, anytime, so we tried to make sure that everything was in line. You know, we increased our date nights to see maybe it was our romantic, or to ignite ourselves spiritually. We did a lot of vacations to also see if there was something else that we weren't thinking of, but we also wanted to keep a balance into where we were going. And each month, whenever we'd have a negative test, we struggled. We broke down, in the bathroom. Like, those were the longest 3 to 4 minutes someone has to wait for when you really want to start a family, and then it all breaks down to this just one test to tell you yes or no. And that was very difficult, through the hard times as a husband. I'm biologically male, so I can't get pregnant, but to support my wife, who also wants a baby too, it becomes really difficult to support her when you feel like you're powerless, like you're helpless, like you want to do something to help get there, to start the family you always wanted together, but it is literally out of your hands. Like, this is now you have to let nature and the universe take over, and sometimes it's difficult for us to, not us in particular, but for me it was really hard in kind of like relinquishing that control. So when we would have talks and we try to keep each other up, we have late night conversations and have all these different dreams and different ways we wanted to potentially start a family, like what activities we wanted to do with the baby, what vacations we wanted to do, what kind of specific mommy and child time, what type of daddy and child time we wanted exclusively. Like, is she gonna play games with me because I'm a big gamer, or is she gonna do certain things with my wife, who likes to read and write a lot more? Like, what are the things that we wanted to share? And that was really difficult to accept. Like, it felt like that dream was fading away as we continued to have negative tests. In order to stay strong, like I never I don't want to say never. Maybe I wasn't necessarily always the strongest. It was hard for me to stick with it. I wanted to be the rock for her. So, I would, talk about words of encouragement, like maybe we can try something different today. Maybe we can try these different home remedies. But ultimately, like, if we got that negative test that month, it was hard on both of us. We couldn't really, it was, we would break down and really try to, just hold each other in those vulnerable moments, because, like I said before, as a husband, I feel like I couldn't do anything more. Like, I always want to do more for my family, and I felt like this is the one thing I literally could not do because it was out of my hands. I wasn't allowed to control this part, and that was really hard for me. So around the end of 2019, we moved to a 2-bedroom apartment where we are now, and it was we decided to manifest. We moved to a 2 bedroom to be able to manifest our baby. It was like, okay, maybe where we were living was not maybe the best of times, so maybe like if we move to a different place that actually shows that we are serious about having a family, then the universe will reward us as well. But but we weren't looking at it in the selfish way. We were looking at, like, maybe we have to think positively and the door will open, more doors will open. So we moved into a 2-bedroom apartment, and we were continuing to try and be optimistic and continue to always move forward and try to build up for our family. So then March 2020 came around, the pandemic came, and it was tricky. We were on lockdown. I got sick, Justine got sick, and then we got better, but it was really hard. And we had a conversation a little bit after to see if we even wanted to stop trying or to keep going. And after an extensive conversation, we thought, it would be better that we keep trying, because our life isn't gonna wait for anybody. So I think, why should our family have to wait? We should just keep going and let the universe and everything take its course, run the course. So I think that during those times, especially during the lockdown, we took more time. In 2019, we focused on us a little bit more by taking more vacations, but the lockdown in March and onward really like helped us to focus more in, really get a deep dive on maybe search within each other as well in ourselves. How can we best support one another as well as ourselves to manifest our family, because we felt like we were ready for the next chapter. So then in around like, I want to say like June, we were having conversations and thought that maybe we weren't necessarily necessarily like needed to have a baby biologically, that maybe we needed to have a family through other means such as adoption or other methods. And we thought about infertility treatments, but infertility treatments, we felt like it wasn't really for us, especially after all the research we did. So we thought of adoption, and we did a lot of research on it, and we thought this might be the best way to expand our family. I want to make a quick note here though. Adoption is not a cure or a replacement for infertility. It is a way to start a family. And I think one of the best things to think about when supporting one another is to stay strong, provide words of encouragement, because at the end of the day, it is really just about the two entities that are trying to start a family. So we went through the adoption process in the summer of 2020. I want to say like August, and we went through the home study, we went to doctor visits, everything, and then we were home study approved by December. After December rolled around, we got a couple of calls, and it was good. We thought, we were like, okay, we're potentially going to have a case where we could finally start our family. And it was really nerve-wracking when the phone would ring and you think that this might be the one, and no, it could be just like a false alarm, maybe not necessarily from the agency, maybe it could be just like a random phone call from someone, and you get so elated that this could be the way your family's going to start, and then it's not the call that you think. So that was like a lot of ups and downs throughout 2020, the end of 2020, after the home study approval, into 2021. So then we went through till about August, I want to say, of 2021, where one of the matches that we got, one of the views that we got on our profile for the agency, they decided to go with another family, and that was heartbreaking. It really was. And we thought that maybe this was, we actually started to think that, I started to think like maybe this is the way our life is going to be meant to have, like between just her and I. I felt like I started to waver a little bit because I didn't know what else to do. I felt like I couldn't, like I said before, I couldn't help, I couldn't intervene because there was nothing more I could do. And I felt really distraught because I couldn't also help to provide for my family in this way. I couldn't start a family with Justine, and it felt terrible, and it was really a sense of weakness, powerlessness, not weakness. I felt like I couldn't move. And it was hard. I know I had a lot of restless nights, and then, going to work, I couldn't do much. I was always happy for anybody who had great news that they were starting a family. I thought that was fantastic, and I thought that was great, and I always wanted more for them. I just always wondered, I hope I do get to start a family, right? Yeah. So then the very next day after the agency told us that our call had wanted to go to with another family, Justine and I went the next day. We went to go shopping. He said, let's get out of the house. Let's not think about it. Let's just keep going. Let's clear our heads. So, yeah. Sorry, she's teething. So then we went shopping, and I remember that we came back. You know, it was a full day. We had lunch. We have everything, and then when we got home, you know, I started to unload everything from the car. You know, putting all the clothes away, and then Justine comes in and shows me the pregnancy test, and I was speechless. I was stuck for like about a second. Like, wait, what? Like, are we sure? And then like, I was excited. I was happy, but I was scared. I cried. You know, it was a lot of emotions all at once. Cause I wasn't like, oh, okay, you know, like maybe this was meant to be like this, you know. So you know, like just like the movies, I ran out to go get more pregnancy tests to make sure it was, you know, like I wanted to be, you know, for me more than, and I was, you know, like that was really like a pivotal point for me, where I was so excited and ready to start our family, which is, and you know, here we are, you know, August 2021, we found out, and you know, fast forward 9 months, here's Anna, right? So she's about to be 6 months now at the time of this recording. So it was a really exciting time, and I can't really like describe more than it was something the feeling was much more positive and much more exciting than I ever could give it credit for. No one would ever, like, there's no, you, like, it's an internal feeling that you can never shake. That's how great it felt. So then, if I had to give advice on how to support one another, especially during this time, you know, infertility is not easy. You know, it took us, you know, 3 years, and it's really not easy when you hear doctors and things like that tell you these different things, and you know, people will say some insensitive things along the way. It starts to hurt that the longer you wait, because then you feel like the dream of starting your family starts to slip away in either scenario, you know. Because when we were on the adoption journey, right, we did think about so when we found out we were pregnant, we did give it some thought, like, do we want to stay on this process of adoption? And you know, like, as this one is born, right, this is before we found out she was a girl, right, before Anna was born, do we want to also welcome a potential other child at the same time? It'll be kind of like twins, but not really. But we're like, okay, you know. And we really did think about it, and we stayed on it for a little bit. However, we gave it more thought, and it turns out that we felt that it would be better to concentrate all of our energy into one child first, because then if there's too much going on at home, then it could create more problems, and the family that you work so hard to create starts to destabilize, and we didn't want that, you know. So try to always be there for one another. Talking, communication is key, especially during these hard times, right, Peanut? Yeah, it's very hard, you know. You have to keep one another up, you know. If you need to always talk to someone, it's always necessary. Like, you only have one another, especially when you're trying to create a family. Yeah. You always have one another, so always try to be positive. Get through the hard times. Even if it's okay to cry, and if together, you know, not one of them just has to cry and you be the rock. I feel like I made that mistake a lot of times over the years, that when I was trying to be the rock, when it was okay to just be vulnerable, because this is something that's hard. Like, no, it's not easy. You personally you're not the first, but you're also not the last. And you're entitled to have your feelings, especially when you want to start the family that you want. I hope this helps. I hope it gave you some insight. Drop a comment, a like, share this video. I hope I gave you a little bit of more help in terms of the male perspective, because the reality of it is, it was extremely difficult. No matter how much you want to try and help and push things along, it's out of your hands. And what you can do is work together, feel together, and work through it. Because at the end of the day, you will have your family, and no matter in what way that may look like, you will always have your family. Take care, guys. Bye.